March Madness is here with the full 68-team bracket revealed. Your entire feed is going to be filled with experts trying to tell you how you should fill out your bracket. And no one's ever gotten every game right. So the correct answer is there's no one way to do it, but there are a lot of fun ways to fill out a bracket. So in this video, we'll be talking about 10 fun ways you can fill out your March Madness bracket. Number 1, how about a mascot bracket? Now, most people have heard of this one. Basically, the philosophy boils down to picking teams based on who would win if their mascots had to do battle here. Now, there's a lot of gray and a lot of room for interpretation, like what are the mythical powers that a Blue Devil has is the age-old question. Is Iowa State qualified as a Cardinal, their true mascot, or as the Cyclone, as their name would suggest? Or for UAB, are you attacking this cuddly dragon, or one that looks more like the one on their logo? It's up for interpretation and up for hot debate, which can be fun, making a mascot bracket and comparing it to what your friends came up with. Number 2 is the classic coin flip bracket. Let's say your uncle or brother or son or your nephew told you to make a bracket and you don't even feel like thinking about the mascots or anything. Just mindlessly flip a coin and pick a heads team and a tails team and use it to advance through there. The one fatal flaw with this method is if you're trying to have a good bracket, there's a 50-50 shot a 16 seed will win, despite the fact that only 2 have won in an entire history of the bracket. So maybe only use the coin flip when you need it, but if you want to use a coin flip for the entire bracket, that leads us to number 3, which is the weighted coin flip, where you weigh according to the seed numbers, the number of times you need to flip on that team. So a 1 seed, let's say you need heads 1 time for the 1 seed to advance, but for the 16 seed, you would need tails 16 times for them to advance. The probability is very skewed towards the favorites here, and you're likely going to have a lot of chalk in your bracket, but hey, those are the ones that are typically the most successful. Number 4 is personal ties. We all have our personal biases. You might as well lean into them. If you went to Arizona State like me, maybe you lean towards the Sun Devils. Maybe you passed somebody that was wearing a Duke sweatshirt, or your uncle went there. Pick Duke in that case. Maybe you flew over Chicago while you were on vacation a couple weeks ago. The possibilities are endless, but just picking teams based on whether or not you have a personal connection to the school is a foolproof way to fill out a bracket. If you think some of these variables are too random, try number 5. Use an online simulator. There's a lot of them online. I prefer NCAA Game Sim, where it cranks out a score, you enter the teams, and it shows you even some of the averages, like Bama's going to beat Grand Canyon an average score of 84-72. This one doesn't even have to be used for a whole bracket. Maybe if there's just some games that you're stuck on and you want to see, you can simulate it here. This one can be really helpful because teams can still make Cinderella runs in the simulator. If you think you would never pick Oakland to go to the Elite Eight, maybe let the simulator do that for you. At number 6, pick based on another sport. Maybe basketball isn't your area of expertise, but you're a football guy like me, and you just pick these teams based on whether or not they have football success, and that can be a lot more fun and exciting when filling it out. Or maybe you're a baseball guy, and you're really caught up to date on how things are looking in that landscape. Maybe you don't care about any of these sports at all, and you're just into cheerleading, and you want to just pick based on who you know has the better cheerleading squad. You can do that. There's no rules against it. And honestly, it's going to be a lot more fun for you to fill out a bracket picturing those players you know and that sport you know versus just conforming to college basketball and pretending like you know what you're talking about. Number 7, just pick teams based on how far away they are from you physically. Like, is Dayton, Ohio closer to you if you live in Kentucky? Or is Gainesville, Florida? Maybe the answer will surprise you. This can be kind of a fun way to get better at geography while also picking a March Madness bracket. And there's schools that you might not even know where they are, and you have to look it up, learning where Longwood is located. I still don't know as I record this video, so making a bracket like that can be really fun and can actually help you develop a closer connection to schools that are near you that you didn't even realize were that close to you. At number 8, maybe you watched a little bit of college basketball, but you're not an expert or anything. Pick the teams purely on their vibes. I haven't known an Ivy League school that's had a bad vibe, so Yale's an attractive team for that matter. Maybe one of your favorite players transferred to another school, like if you were an Oregon State fan during their Elite Eight run, Jared Lucas in number 2 right there was their leading scorer during that run. He's now on Nevada. Maybe you just don't like the look of a point guard on Drake's team. Pick against him. You don't like him. Maybe you look at Bruce Pearl on Auburn and he reminds you of your father or your grandfather. That's a reason to pick that team. A vibes-based bracket can sometimes be the one that ends up being your most favorite, regardless of how successful it actually is. At number 9, follow historical trends. This one can be if you're a little bit of a stat guru and you follow the trend where no team rated outside the top 25 in KenPom offense metrics has ever won a title. Or maybe you see that the leading scorer is over 7 feet, a team has never won a title. I'm just making that up, but that could be a trend. Or maybe you look at the fact that UConn has been a team that's won 5 national titles since 1999. And that's some things that you can just use to guide yourself through that, including limiting yourself on the number of upsets you pick in each round by looking at historically how many do actually happen in each round. Finally, coming in at number 10 is actually doing research on the teams and games in March Madness. This alone puts you above 99% of people that are filling out brackets. Most people don't have any idea what they're doing. They're picking the college and universities based on random association or maybe a game they watch with their buddies. If you're actually taking the time to sit down and see which teams will be favored here and there and are the best analytically, you're probably going to have a pretty dang good bracket. And yes, while upsets and Cinderella runs are what make the headlines and what make the first couple rounds so exciting, it usually boils down to the best teams that are at the very end. You'll have a lot of 1 seeds in there. So if you take the time and actually do your research, in the long run, you'll probably end up having the best bracket. So that was 10 ways to fill out a March Madness bracket. I'm filling one out. You can fill one out and join my group as well. I'm going to link the bracket group in the bio, so feel free to click on that. Submit your picks in there as well. I'm going to do a video in a little bit where I go over my actual full bracket and picks. Probably do it a little bit closer to when the tourney starts. That way not everybody can copy me. But if you liked this video and you enjoyed it, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. We're typically covering college football, but March is college basketball's month. Appreciate you guys for watching, and I will talk to you guys later.